Hello and thank you for joining this lesson. This is JESMA 004, Mathematics Grade 9 paper. We have already covered and solved section A, and in this video, we're going to solve section B. If you missed section A, kindly take your time. You can watch it. The link is in the description below. So without saying much, we're going to start. So this is section B. It carries 80 marks. We're going to solve all these questions step by step, and therefore, you need to have a pen, a calculator, and a working area so that you can pause the video and try to solve and then look for the answer. So we're going to start with question number 21. 21 reads, evaluate. Here we have 12 minus into bracket 4 over 2 plus 3 times 2 divided by 3 over 2. So you know that we're going to use board mass to solve this. So board mass means you start with bracket, and then you go to off, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. I'm going to start with what is inside the bracket. So here I have 4 over 2 plus 3 times 2. So I'm going to multiply these two. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So here I have 2 plus 6. So 2 plus 6, I get 8. So what is inside the bracket is equals to 8. I'm going to rewrite this expression. Here I have 12 minus 8 divided by 3 over 2. So the next step is to divide. So here we have 12 minus 8. When we divide, we change the sign into multiplication, and then we take the reciprocal. So it becomes 2 over 3. So I'm going to continue on this other side. So here we have 12 minus 8 times 2 over 3. So this is 12. So negative 8 times 2 becomes negative 16 over 3. And then subtract these two. 12 minus 16 over 3. You get the answer is 20 over 3, which you can simplify. We get 6, 2 over 3. So that is the answer for the question, for the first question. So we get those 3 marks. So we continue to the next question. Question number 22. Find the surface area of a rectangular based prism measuring 5 centimeters by 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters, 3 marks. So you're going to find the surface area of that rectangular based prism. So here is the shape. So it is 5 by 4 by 3. So I'm going to write here. So this is 5 centimeters by 4 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So if you are asked to find the surface area means the area of the faces. So here we have how many faces? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 faces. So I have this one facing this direction. This is the first face, and there are 2. So the first one in front and the other one at the back. So I'm going to get the area of the faces. So I'm going to start with area 1. So area 1 I can say is equals to, this face is equals to the area's length times width, because here is 3, also here is 3 centimeters. So I'm going to say it is 5 times 3, and since there are 2 faces, you need to multiply by 2. 5 times 3, 15. 15 times 2, we get 30 centimeters square. And then going to area 2. Area 2 is the one which is here. So you can see it is 4 by 3. I'm going to multiply 4 times 3. You have 2 faces, multiply times 2. So 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 2, we get 24 centimeters square. Finally, we have area 3. Area 3 is this rectangle which is at the bottom. They also have another one which is at the top. So the dimensions are 5 by 4. I'm going to multiply 5 times 4, and then there are 2 to the bottom and at the top. So 5 times 4 times 2. 5 times 4, you get 20. 20 times 2, you get 40. So this is 40 centimeters square. So the total surface area will be the sum of the faces, the area of the faces. So it is 30 plus 24 plus 40. So if you add this, we get the area is 94 centimeter square. So that is the surface area of this rectangular prism. That is how you do basically. If you hear the one surface area, means the area of the faces. So you score those 3 marks. We continue to the next question. Here we have given the matrices A, 3, 2, 5, 4. The elements are 3, 2, 5, 4 and B, 1, 3, 2, 1. Find A minus B. This means we're going to subtract these two matrices A minus B. So A minus B is equals to the first matrix, which is, here we have 3, 5, 2, 4, minus B, which is 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm going to subtract this. So here we have 3 minus 1. So you pick 3, subtract 1, the respective elements. So 3 minus 1, you get 2. Then 5 minus 2, so 5 minus 2, you get 3. 2 minus 3, we get negative 1. And 4 minus 1, we get 3. So A minus B, the answer is, we get the matrix which is 2, 3, negative 1, 3. We score those 3 marks. Let's continue to the next question. So we have question number 24. A machine takes 6 hours to produce 120 items. How long will it take 3 similar machines to produce 300 items at the same rate? So here we're going to do, here we have machine. So I'm going to use a table to explain this. Here we have machine. Here we have hours. There we have items, number of items produced, I for items. So we have a machine. This means one machine takes 6 hours. So 6 hours to produce 120 item. How long will it take 3 similar machines? So we have 3 machines, don't have the time, and then to produce the items are 300. So you're going to use reasoning to solve this. So whereby you close one of the numbers. For example, I'm going to hide this. I'm going to close this so that you can't see. So I'm going to use this 2. So you ask yourself, if one machine takes 6 hours, what about 3 machines? Will it take more hours or less hours? So obvious, when the machines are more, they're going to take less hours. So I'm going to pick the number which is less. Here you have the less number is 1 over 3. Then I multiply. I come now to this other side, and therefore I hide this side. So I ask myself, if 120 items are produced in 6 hours, what about 300 items? Will it take more hours or less hours? Obvious, when the items are more, the time also will be more, and therefore it will take more hours. I'm going to pick a number which is more, so it is 300 over 120, and I multiply by 6. So I can do some simplification. I simplify by 3 1 by 3 100 by 6 1 by 6 20, then by 21 by 25. So I can see the time is 5 hours. So the time taken to produce 300 hours when 3 machines are working, it is 5 hours, and therefore the answer is 5 hours. So we get those 3 marks. Continue to the next question, number 25. Solve the simultaneous equation using substitution method. So you're going to use substitution. So when you're told to use substitution, don't use elimination method. 4 marks. So we have 3x plus 2y is equals to 12. 2x minus y is equals to 3. So here there was an error. This is not 3. It's supposed to be 1. So 2x minus y is equals to 1. So feel free to pause the video and try this. Then come back and see the answer. So I'm going to use substitution method. I'm going to rewrite these equations. Here I have 3x plus 2y is equals to 12. And then here I have 2x minus y is equals to 1. I'm going to pick one equation, either equation number 1 or equation number 2, then get one of the unknowns, making it the subject of the formula. I'm going to pick the second equation because I can see it is easier compared to the first equation. So I'm going to pick this second equation. So we have 2x minus y is equals to 1. I can make y to be the subject. I take y to the right, then 1 to the left. So you can see this is 2x minus 1 is equals to y. So I can say y is equals to 2x minus 1. Then I come and substitute in the first equation. Where I have y, I put y is equals to 2x minus 1. So where I have y, I put 2x minus 1. So taking the first equation here, we have 3x plus 2y is equals to 12. So where we have y, I put 2x minus 1. That's what we call substitution method. So this becomes 3x plus 2 into bracket 2x minus 1 is equals to 12. Open the brackets. So this is 3x plus 4x. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times negative 1, negative 2 is equals to 12. I can collect like terms together. So 3x plus 4x is becomes 7x minus 2 is equals to 12. Taking negative 2 the other side, it becomes plus. So negative 2 plus 12. So I have 7x is equals to 14. Then I can divide. Allow me to clean this area. So let us continue on this other side. So 7x is equals to 14, and therefore divide by 7, divide by 7, you can see x is equals to 2. So the value of x is equals to 2. If you want to get y, you come to this equation where we have y is equals to 2x minus 1, or you can substitute x in any of the equation. Here I have y is equals to 2x minus 1. Where I have x, I put 2. So I can see y is equals to 2 times 2 minus 1. And therefore y is equals to 2 minus 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. And therefore the value of x is 2 and y is 3. That is how we use substitution method to solve simultaneous equation. So we substitute, we find one unknown, and then we substitute in the second equation, and with that we score those 4 marks. Continue to question number 9. That is question number 25. So we have a farmer harvested 800 kg of maize last season and 960 kg this season. Calculate the percentage increase in the harvest. So we know that percentage increase is the increase over the original multiplied by 100%. First step is to get the increase. So increase will be, we have the new, which is 960 kilograms, minus the original, which is 800. So when subtract these two, we get it is 160 kilograms. The percentage increase, you can use a percentage increase. This will be the increase itself over the original multiplied by 100%. Now the increase is 160. So 160 over the original it was 800. So over the original 800 multiplied by 100. So when you multiply 160 over 800 multiplied by 100, we find that the answer is 20%. So you multiply this by 0, by 0, by 0, by 0, by 81, by 82, 2 times 10, you get the answer is 20%. And therefore, the percentage increase is 20%. So we score those 3 marks. Continue with the next question, question number 27. Here we have a business person took a loan of 10,000 and repaid it after 2 years. If the repayment was 12,100 shillings under compound interest, find the ratio of interest per annum. So you know that this is compound interest. So you know that the formula for compound interest is equals to amount. Amount is equals to the principal into brackets 1 plus r over 100 raised to n, where r is the rate, n is the number of years, and p is the principal, a is the amount. So this is the amount. 12,100 is the amount. So where I have a, I put 12,100. So this is 12,100 is equals to the principal is the amount that this person took as a loan. So the principal is 10,000. Say we have 10,000 into brackets 1 plus r we don't have over 100 raised to n. N is the number of years. So we have 2 years. So we have 2. So to solve this, I'm going to divide both sides by 10,000. That's the first step. So I divide here by over 10,000 to remove this number. Then here also over 10,000. So this one will cancel with this one. So 12,100 divided by 10,000, you can see these zeros, 1, 2, 1, 2. I have 2 zeros, 1, 2, I put 1, 2. So this is, if you divide, we get 1.21 is equals to, here we have a bracket, 1 plus r over 100 raised to 2. So the power is 2. So to remove this power, because you can see the power is 2, this is a square. So to remove this square on the right, we have to take square root on both sides. So take square root on the left and also on the right. So this is the square root of 1.21 is equals to, we have 1 plus r over 100. When you take the square root cancels with the square. So by 2, 2. So we remain with 1 plus r over 100. We need to continue on this other side. The square root of 1.21, we get, the square root is 1.1. So 1.1 is equals to 1 plus r over 100. Can you collect terms together? So you take 1 to the other side, becomes minus. 1.1 minus 1, you get 0.1 is equals to r over 100. So to get r, you need to multiply times 100 both sides. So here times 100, also times 100. So this and this will cancel. So you can see my rate is 100 times 0.1. We find it is 10% per annum. So that is the rate, 10% per annum. So you score those 4 marks. Next question, the following numbers represent the age of 10 learners in years. You have 12, 15, the data is given. Find the mode of the data. So you know that the mode is the number which is the data which is the most repeated. So mode means the number which is most repeated. So we're going to look at the number which is most repeated. You can see here we have 12. 12 is repeated how many times? Here we have 1, 2, 3. Also we have 14. 14 is repeated how many times? 14, I can use this green. 1, 2, 3. And then which other number? 15 is twice. 1, 2. 16 once, 13 1. So the mode of the data set, we have 2 numbers. That is, we have 12 and also 12 and the other one is 14. So this is the mode of this data set. 12 is the most repeated 3 times, and also 14, we have it 3 times. So they share. So the mode is 12 and 14. We get those 2 marks. Let us continue. Use a calculator to evaluate. So this is 49.8 cube. You just press this in your calculator. Just take your calculator, put a bracket, type 49.8 and then cube it. 9.8 cube, yet the answer is 123,505.992. So you can confirm this. Just take your calculator and key in the way it is written. Second one, we have 0.048. So just type 0.048. Calculator will give you, press AB over C. You'll see this is a 6 over 125. So in fraction, we've converted this by using a calculator. Get the answer is 6 over 125. So just type 0.048 and then press AB over C to convert into a fraction. Continuing to question number 30, write the following expression in index form. So I'm going to write logarithms in index form. So before we do these 2 examples, I'm going to show you how we write logarithms in index notation. So if you have log of b to base a is equals to c, then to write this in index notation, it is very simple. Just take the base raised to the constant on the right is equals to whatever we have on the left. This means a raised to c is equals to b. I'm going to use a real life example. For example, if you have, I'm writing on the right, log of maybe x to base 2 is equals to 4, and somebody asks you to solve for x. It is very simple. I've said you pick the base, raise the number, the constant number, is equals to whatever it is there. So this will be 2 raised to 4 is equals to x. This is what we call index notation. So this is writing it in index notation. We're going to do the same for these two examples. You can try and then come and confirm the answer. So I'm going to take the base raised to the number here is equals to whatever we have there. So this is 10 raised to 3 is equals to 0.001. So that is the answer. Get those 2 marks. Or you can simplify this. You say 10 raised to 3 is equals to, you can say this is 0.001, the same as 1 over, I mean decimal places, 1, 2, 3. So it's 1 over 1,000. So you get those 2 marks. What about B? The same case apply. The base is 10. So 10 raised to 2 is equals to whatever that is here. So he's going to write 10 raised to 2 is equals to 1,000. Is it really 1,000? Supposed to be 100. So here it is an error. So here we have supposed to be 100, not 1,000. So I guess this question had a problem. So 10 raised to 2 is equals to 100, not 1,000. This is how we can write the questions from logarithm to index notation. So we continue to the next question. Calculate the area of the shaded part below. So you have a circle and a sector. So to get the area of this shaded part, this is the shaded part. Know that it will be the area of the circle minus the area of this sector. This is the sector. So the area of the shaded part, I can say area. So area will be area of the circle, the bigger circle, minus area of the sector. So A subscript C to mean area of the circle, minus A subscript S to mean area of the sector. So we know that area of a circle is given by pi r squared. What about area of a sector? Formula is given by theta over 360 times pi r square. Pi r square. So I'm going to do this. So here we have theta, pi is 22 all over 7, into 2 all over 7. Multiply by the radius, you can see the radius is 14. So times 14 times 14. So I solve for area of the circle. So when you do this, 20 all over 7 times 14 times 14. So by 7, 1, by 7, 2. If you multiply, you'll see that the area of the circle is 616 centimeters square. Continue to area of the sector. Area of the sector will be theta over 360. Theta is the angle subtended. You can see it is 80. So 80 degrees over 360 multiplied by pi. Pi is 22 all over 7 times radius is 14, again times 14. If you multiply this keenly, you'll find out the answer is 136 and 8 over 9, or 136.1111. That is 136.11. So the area of the shaded part will be the difference between these two. So the area will be 616 minus 136.11. So you can see that the area, I'm going to write the answer. So the answer is equals to area. You subtract these two. Area is equals to, you'll find out that the answer is 479.11 centimeter square. So that is the area of the shaded part. So we get those 3 marks. So 1 mark is for getting the area of the circle. The other one is for getting the area of the sector. And then finally subtracting the 2 to get the area of the shaded part. We continue to the next question. 32, a very simple question. Solve the inequality. So we have 3x plus 2 is greater than 11. So we're going to collect like terms together. So we assume this inequality sign as an equal sign. So anytime a number crosses over, its sign changes. So I take positive 2 to the right, it becomes negative. So here I remain with 3x is greater than 11 minus 2. So this is 3x is greater than 11 minus 2. You get 9. You divide by 3. We divide by 3. You can see my x is greater than 3. Then divided by 3, we get 3. So we score those 3 marks. We continue to the next question. So we have another very simple question, 3 marks, expressed as a fraction. This is very simple. You have 2.16. So we change it into a fraction. So we can count how many decimal places do we have. So here we have 1, 2. So this number is divided by 100. So this will be 216 over 100. If we divide this, remember each 0 places a decimal point. So if we divide by 100, you can see this 0 places here, this one places there. So it is 216 over 100. So you can simplify this by 2. By 2, we get 108. And then here by 2, we get 50. You can simplify further by 2 again. By 2, we get 54. Then by 2, we get 25. So expressing as a fraction, we get the answer is 54 over 25. Or as a mixed number, we get the answer is 2, 4 over 25. So it is 2, 4 over 25. We score those 3 marks. Continuing to the next question, question number 34. So you have a pickup consumes 18 liters of diesel to travel to 70 kilometers. How much diesel will the pickup consume to travel 90 kilometers at the same speed? I'm going to use a table to explain this. Here we have liters, then here we have distance covered. So 18 liters, distance covered is to 70 kilometers. So how much diesel will the pickup consume to travel 90 kilometers? So 90 kilometers, you don't have number of liters. Then you ask yourself, if 18 liters, distance covered is to 70, what about 90 kilometers? Will it need more liters or less liters? You can see it just decreased. The distance is small, and therefore you also need a little amount of liters. So the liters required is less, and therefore you choose a number which is less between 90 and 270. 90 is less, so you pick 90 over 270 multiplied by 18. So you can see here by 90, 1, by 90, 3, by 3, 1, by 3, we get 6. So we get 6 liters. Therefore, the answer is 6 liters. So it will need 6 liters so that it can travel and cover up a distance of 90 kilometers. Part B, how many kilometers will the pickup cover? It consumes 27 liters. So again, here we have liters and the distance. We have liters and distance. Remember, 18 liters to 70 kilometers. So 18 liters takes the distance is to 70. Now what about 27 liters? So you ask yourself, so if 18 liters, the distance covered is 270, what about 27 liters? Will it cover more distance or less distance? You can see number of liters has increased, and therefore the distance will also be more. Therefore we pick a number which is more between 18 and 27. So it is 27 over 18 multiplied by 270. Then if you multiply these two, you will see that the answer is, if you mark here these two, you'll see the answer is 405 kilometers. So that is the answer. So the kilometers covered by 27 liters, if it consumes 27 liters, it is 405 kilometers. Let us continue to number 35. A farmer planned to use his land as follows: 10% for sweet potatoes, 20% for pears, 30% for maize, and the rest for cabbage. Work out the angle representing the cabbage. So we're going to work out the angle representing the cabbage. So we're going to solve this by assuming that we're going to represent this information in a pie chart. So you know that a pie chart, it is a circle, and the angles in a circle, or the angles in a pie chart altogether, if you add all the angles, is equals to 360. So we're going to convert this percentage into angles. I'm going to start with the first one, sweet potatoes. So I'm going to use initial. So sweet potatoes, SP to stand for sweet potatoes. So its angle will be, so 10%, 10 over 100 multiplied by the total angle, which is 360. So 10 over 100, you multiply 10 over 100 times 360, you'll see that we get 36 degrees. So the angle is 36 degrees. We go for pairs. So P for pairs. or I can write in full. So pairs, the angle will be, the angle is 20. So we have 20 over 100 multiplied by 360. If I multiply, you can see for pairs, we get the angle is 72 degrees. You can continue. Here we have a maize, M for maize, but I can write in full. A maize will be, it is 30%, 30 over 100 multiplied by 360. So we multiply 30 over 100 multiplied by 360. We find that the answer is 108 degrees. So for cabbage, so the rest is cabbage. So what do we get for cabbage? So this means that if you add 36 degrees plus 72 degrees plus 108 plus that of cabbage is equals to 360. And therefore for cabbage, it will be 360 minus the sum of these other angles. So minus 36 plus 72 plus 108. So if you'll find that 360 minus, if we add, we get it is 216. So 360 minus 216, you can see that for cabbage is 144 degrees. And therefore the angle representing the cabbage is 144 degrees. And you get those 3 marks. So that is how we can solve that. We continue to part B. If all the land was 24 acres, how many acres does each crop occupy? We're going to start, the percentage for crop for sweet potatoes is 10%. You can start again for sweet potatoes. I'm going to write SP. So it is 10%. So 10 over 100 multiplied by the total land is 24 acres. So multiply by 24 so that you can get the percentage, the acres occupied by sweet potatoes. So 10 over 100 multiplied by 24 by 0, 0. You can see it is 24 divided by 10, which is 2.4 hectares. You continue to pairs. So pairs, for pairs, it will be, the percentage is 20%. So it is 20 over 100 multiplied by 24. So you can see by 0, 0, 2 times 24, 48 divided by 10, we get 4.8 acres. You continue for maize is 30%. So you can say maize here on the right. Maize is 30%. This means 30 over 100 multiplied by 24 acres. So 0, 0, and then 3 times 24. We get it is for maize 3 times 24. 3 times 24 divided by 10 to 7.2 hectares. So here we have 7.2 hectares. So for cabbage, remember, for cabbage, we have the angle for cabbage. It was the cabbage, the rest is for cabbage. You can do this, we can add all these hectares and then the remaining is for cabbage. So we can add 2.4. So cabbage will be, the total acres is 24 minus the sum of this other. So 2.4 plus 4.8 plus 7.8 plus 7.2. 7.2. So cabbage will be 24. And as if you add 2.4 plus 4.8 plus 7.2, you find that it is 14.4. And if you subtract 24 minus the answer, you see that for cabbage is 9.6 hectares. So for cabbage is 9.6 hectares. So that is the land occupied, the percentage, the land which is occupied by the crop. So we have sweet potatoes 2.4 acres, pears 4.8 acres, maize 7.2 acres, and finally the cabbage is 9.6 acres. Continue to question number 21. In the space provided below, construct triangle ABC. Its sides AB is equals to 6, BC is equals to 8, and AC 10. Then construct a circle touching all the three sides of the triangle. Calculate the radius of the circle. So I'm going to do this example as the last example so that you can do it as at the final. So this, I'm going to skip it now, but I'm going to do it later in the video, at the end of this video. So allow me to go to the next question, then we'll come back to this. So we have three business partners. We have Simon, Steve, and Sonia. Decided to share the profit of their business in the ratio 2:3:5. If the total profit earned is 640,000, calculate A, the individual share of each partner. B, what percentage of the total profit did each partner receive? So here we have the ratio. So you have 2 ratio 3 ratio 5. This is for Simon, this is for Steve, this is for Sonia. So we're going to get the individual share. So we're going to start with the Simon. So Simon, so allow me to use another color. So it's Simon. His ratio for Simon is 2 over total. We add 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 5, 10. So it is 2 over 10 multiplied by the amount which they are sharing, 640,000. Multiplied by 640,000. So by 10. So if it's by 0, they cancel. So if you multiply this, you see that for Simon is we get 128,000 shillings. We go to Steve. Steve, his ratio is 3. So it is 3 over 10 multiplied by 640,000. So by 0, and then if you multiply 3 times 64,000, get the answer is 192,000 shillings. And then finally for Sonia, so Sonia is equals to 5, his ratio is 5. So 5 over 10 multiplied by total amount, which is 640,000. So by 0, we multiply 5 times 64,000. You'll see that for Sonia is 320,000 shillings. So that is the answer to part A. You get those 3 marks. Part B, what percentage of the total profit did each partner receive? So I'm going to work out here. We're going to start with the Simon. So Simon, the amount he received is 128,000 over the total, which is 640,000. So we're going to start by Simon. So the percentage for Simon. So Simon, the percentage is he received 128,000. So it will be 128,000 over the total share, which was 640,000 multiplied by 100. So we're converting into a percent. So if you multiply that, you'll see that for Simon, it is 20%. We go to the next person, which is Steve. Steve received 1 into 2,000. So for Steve, it is 1 into 2,000 over the total, which is 640, multiplied by 100,000. So if you multiply this for Steve, you'll see that this 0 is going to cancel. If you multiply this correctly, you'll find out that Steve, the percentage is 30%. And finally, for the last person is Sonia, 320,000. So Sonia is 320,000. It is 320,000. So it is 320,000 over total amount, which is 640,000, multiplied by 100. So if you multiply this, you see that it is 50%. 50%. So that is how we can get the percentage of each person's share. So Simon 20%, Steve 30%, and Sonia 50%. We continue to the next question, question number 38. This is grade 9 work. Here we have a straight line joins 2 points with the coordinates 2, 1.5 and 1.87. Determine the gradient of the line. So we know that gradient, the formula for gradient, we know that gradient is equals to change in y over change in x. So this is my x, this is my y, this is my x, this is my y. So I'm going to work out. So the gradient will be, gradient, it is change in y. So I'm going to start with this side, this point. So it is 7 minus this y is 1.5 over, I come to x, I have 1.8, subtract 2. So subtract 7 minus 1.5, we get 5.5 over 1.8 minus 2, we get negative 0.2. And then if we divide these two, we divide 5.5 divided by negative 0.2, you'll see that the answer is negative 27.5. So that is the answer to part A. You get those 2 marks. Continue to part B, determine the equation of the line. So to get the equation, we pick one of the points and then another unknown point, x and y. Then we take the gradient. So I'm going to pick the first point. For example, I'm going to pick this point, 2, 1.5. So the point is 2 into 1.5. Then I pick another point, x and y, and the gradient of this line, because they are lying on the same line, it is the same, which is equals to negative 27.5. So I'm going to say, so allow me to work on this other side. So the gradient, so we have change in y over change in x. This is y minus 1.5 over x minus 2 is equals to negative 27.5. So I'm going to remove this denominator by multiplying both sides by x minus 2. So I'm going to multiply x minus 2 multiplied by that number. So here I have y minus 1.5 is equals to negative 27.5 into bracket x minus 2. I'm going to use a bracket. Then I'm going to open this side. So here I have y minus 1.5 is equals to, I open this side, negative 27.5 times x, I get negative 27.5x. Then negative 27.5 times negative 2, negative and negative becomes a positive. So I get plus 55. And then if I like terms together, so I take this negative to the right. So when I cross this over, it becomes a plus. And therefore, my equation becomes y is equals to negative 27.5 x plus 55 plus 1.5. So if I add, I get y is equals to negative 27.5 x plus 56.5. So this is the equation of this line, and we score 3 marks. So we continue. So here we have question number 39, which reads, grade 9 learners added 2 numbers and the result was less than 5. Part A, form an inequality from the statement, 2 marks. Part B, represent the inequality on a graph. So we have a learners who added 2 numbers. So we have 2 unknown numbers and the result was less than 5. So you can relate the numbers to be x and y. So when you add the 2 numbers, that is x plus y, the result is less than 5. This means it is less than 5. Therefore, this is the inequality to represent the statement. And therefore, for part A, the answer is x plus y is less than 5. Go to part B, represent the inequality on a graph. So the inequality is x plus y is less than 5. So when you go to the graph, we're going to remove this inequality sign and we put an equal sign so that we can be able to draw this line. So when you remove the inequality sign, we have x plus y is equals to 5. So making y to be the subject, we take x to the other side. So this is positive. It goes to the right, it becomes minus. So here we have y is equals to 5 minus x. So we can make a table so that we can go and plot that line. So we're going to make a table. So here we have a table. So I put here x, I put here y. You can pick any values of x and y. So I'm going to pick, for example, negative 2 and pick 0. I can pick 2. I can pick 4 and so on. So when x is negative 2, what will be y? So where we have x, I put negative 2. So this will be y is 5 minus x is negative 2. So minus minus becomes a plus. So 5 plus 2 is 7. So I can see y is 7. When x is 0, I put here 0. So 5 minus 0, we get 5. When x is 2, we put here 2. 5 minus 2, we get 3. And finally, when x is 4, I put here 4. And then 5 minus 4, we get 1. So we're going to plot these points on the graph. So this is my graph. We have the graph here. So we're going to plot those points. Before we plot, I'm going to tell you something. So when plotting inequalities, the inequality on a graph, you need to remember this thing. When the sign is less than or greater than, and the sign is this, we use a dotted line. When plotting, we use a dotted line. And then when the sign is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, the line that we use a continuous line. So bear this in mind, put this in your mind. So anytime you see when you're plotting inequality on a graph, the sign is less than or greater than, the line is dotted. The sign is less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, the line is continuous. So you can see our inequality is less than. The sign is less than, and therefore we're going to use a dotted line. So let us go to our graph. We make a scale. So this is 0. I can skip 2 boxes. Here I have 2, 4, 6, and so on. On the left, I'll be having negative 2. Negative 2 is here. Negative 2, then negative 4. So on the y-axis, I'm going to have a 2, 4, 6, and so on. And then on the left, on the lower side, I'm going to have negative 2 is there. So the first point is negative 2, 7. So negative 2 is here. And then 7 on the y. So here we have negative 2, 7. The point is there. The second point, we have a 0, 5. So 0 is here. 5 is here. Then we have another point which is a 2, 3. So on the x, we have 2. Then on the y, 3 is there. Then finally, we have a 4, 1. So on the x-axis, the point is 4. On the y is 1. So 4, 1 is there. I'm going to join these points using a dotted line. So my dotted line is here. So I'm going to join using dotted line. So I'm going to draw. So that is my line, dotted line passing through the points. Yes, good. So that is my line. I hope you can see it. So the line is the equation was y is equals to 5 minus x. So the line is called y is equals to 5 minus x. Remember, our inequality was x plus y is less than 5. So the next part is to shade the unwanted side. So for you to shade the unwanted side, you need to pick a test point. So we can pick any point to be the test point. So we pick a test point, then we use it to know the wanted side. Test point can be, so I can pick this point which is here to be my test point. That point, the point is on the x, we have 1. On the y, we have 2. I'm going to use this test point. So where I have x, I put 1. Where I have y, I put 2. So this is a 1 plus 2 is less than 5. So 1 plus 2, 3 is less than 5, which is true. And therefore, this is the wanted side. And therefore, I'm going to shade this other side, which is the unwanted. So you shade the upper side. Shade the upper side. That is it for that question part B, which says represent the inequality on a graph. So we have represented x plus y is less than 5 on a graph. So that is how you can represent. Continue to question number 26, the final question, which says calculate the surface area of the pyramid below. So you have a pyramid which is made up of triangles. So you can see we have 4 triangles, 1 at the bottom and 3 at the top. So we're going to make to get the area of the faces. So if you hear the word surface area, this means you get the area of the faces and then you add. We're going to start with the first face. It is at the top, the 3 which you can see they are equal. Here we have 13, 13, 10. Also at the back, 13, 13, 10. So all of them are equal. So I'm going to draw that triangle here. So here we have 13. Here we have 13. Also here we have 10. This is an isosceles triangle because these two sides are equal. So we don't have the height. We have to calculate the height. I'm going to drop a perpendicular here. Our height. So h. And then I'm going to divide this into 2. So this becomes 5. So this becomes 5. Also becomes 5. So you can get height. So you know that you can use Pythagoras theorem, which says that the height squared will be the hypotenuse squared, which is 13 squared minus 5 squared. So h squared will be 13 squared is 169, minus 5 squared we get 25. So h squared is 169 is 169 minus 25, you get 144. And then to get h, you get the square root on both sides. So h will be the square root of 144, which is 12 centimeter. And therefore, to get the area of this triangle, you can say area is equals to a half times base. The base is 10 times the height is 12. So this will be a half times 10, we get 5 times 12 is 60. And then we have 3 triangles there, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we multiply by 3. So we get it is 180 centimeters square. We go to the next triangle, the lower, at the bottom, the triangle which is at the bottom. So I can draw again that triangle. Here we have the triangle. So this is 10, 10, and 10. This is an equilateral triangle because you can see all the sides are equal. Again, we don't have the height, you can get the height. So you drop a perpendicular from these points. So it divides this into 2. So 5, we don't have the height. So you can get the height again. So height squared will be the hypotenuse squared, which is 10 squared minus 5 squared. So h squared is equals to 100 minus 25. So you can see my h squared is equals to 75. To get h, you get the square root both sides. So h will be 8.66. So my height here is 8.66. So the area of the triangle, which is at the bottom, will be the area. It will be a half times base. The base of the triangle is 10, multiplied by the height, which is 8.66. So when you multiply this, a half times 10, you get 5. So 5 times 8.66, get the answer is 43.3 centimeters square. So the surface area will be the sum of these two. It will be 180 plus 43.3. So when you add 180 plus 43.3, you get the answer is 223.3 centimeters square. So that is the surface area of the pyramid below.